All right, so good morning. Happy to answer your questions today about Hurricane Erin as it approaches our coastline. As you're well aware, the city's been preparing for a few days for any possible impacts that could arrive from the storm. We feel like we're in a good position. We've got a lot of preparations underway, and we're prepared for any conditions that might come out of this storm. We've been messaging a lot out to our residents and our guests, having them check VB Alert, sign up for VB Alert, and pay attention to the forecasts. We want to provide the opportunity to get more details from our various departments involved in preparing for the storm directly, and have the questions answered for our residents and our guests directly from our departments handling storm response. So with that, I will turn it over to LJ Hansen, the Director of Public Works.
Do you want to see if you have any questions first?
Do you have any questions for me first?
Can you talk to me a little bit about the biggest potential impact to Virginia Beach residents and businesses?
Yeah, the tides and the coastal flooding are our greatest threat right now, especially during high tides, the evening late high tides. As the storm approaches, we'll see those elevated tide levels, could reach high, moderate levels. It should recede fairly quickly once the high tide moves out, but we're concerned about flooding in low-lying areas and other areas, especially along the coastlines of the Bay and the Atlantic, during those high tides, of what that could mean in those vulnerable areas. And then there'll be some windy gusts along the ocean front and the Chesapeake coastline directly that's teetering on tropical storm force wind gusts.
So flooding is obviously a huge issue that's going to be happening, and you guys have been on top of it, especially with your stormwater programs that you've been seeing. For people this next week, how can they prepare at home to make sure that those floods aren't impacting their properties?
Well, there's a lot of great information on how homeowners and renters can prepare their properties for flooding available on the city's websites. Additionally, it's really just securing loose items, moving their vehicles to higher ground. The town center garages are available if residents need a place to move their vehicles to. Like I said, securing loose items, especially if they know property is going to flood, moving lawn furniture up, kayaks, that type of watercraft, securing that so it doesn't become a hazard to their neighbors or causing first responders to have to go out and research why that vessel's out there.
And obviously this is going to be a storm that the closest it's going to hit is 2 miles off of the coast here. So when it comes to winds and other things that people can be looking out for, since this is the big first hurricane of the season, is this kind of why we're seeing a lot of those alerts coming out from a lot of agencies like yours?
Yeah, I think we just want people to not become complacent. We're a resilient community. We have a lot of safeguards in place, and we're well prepared. Our first responders frequently deploy out of state to help other communities in need, so they've got that firsthand experience. We just don't want we don't want people to let their guard down, or we want them to take it seriously, really pay attention to the forecast and know what's going on, listen to officials, the lifeguards. We're open for business. We're not having evacuations. We want people to enjoy their weekend and their week. We just want them to be safe about it and be aware of what's going on and the potential impacts they could experience.
Okay, I'm next.
All right.
LJ, let me take all these off you. You ready for
What?
this?
Said you got quite a collection there.
Yeah.
Quite a collection. I think you have another one on you.
Yep.
Good job. And then try just to look at coastlines. Professional, you know how to do this. I'll talk about that when you're done.
Do you have enough color for all of that?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Hi. So, good morning. My name is LJ Hansen. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Virginia Beach.
we have our first storm of the year, and it's a run-up for what we hope to be a less than active season, but we're taking every opportunity to make sure that we're keeping the citizens safe and that we're doing that which is appropriate. One of the earlier questions was about how we help people get prepared for storms like this. If for this particular storm, we're not expecting a lot of rain, we're expecting mostly wind. And as a result, we think that most of the flooding is going to occur similar to like our king tides and what we typically see for that type of an event. So if you experience flooding during a high tide event or a king tide event, that's probably the folks that we're going to see a lot of flooding. In the southern part of the city, we don't think we're going to see a lot of flooding, but we do expect wind and we do expect some potential impacts, and we expect, we hope that folks are working with us to be safe and to be appropriate.
So for the homeowners that live in those flood-prone areas, what's the best one to advise for?
So for most of the people that live in the flood-prone areas, and I'm thinking mostly in the northern part along the Lynnhaven Bay, those folks, they flood with some measure of regularity. They pretty much know what they need to do. If you've experienced flooding during a king tide event, you probably have some indication that you're going to see water in your yard or in your driveway. If your car has flooded before, then you should probably take appropriate actions to move it away from where it might potentially flood. And the city does have some options open in the town center for parking vehicles in flood-prone, if you live in a flood-prone area.
And this storm that we're seeing right now isn't going to be as strong as storms that we've possibly seen in the past. So how are you maybe stacking this up compared to hurricanes or storms that we've seen in previous years?
We take them all pretty seriously, honestly. Hurricane Matthew was supposed to turn, and that is the thing that I remember most about 2016. Hurricane Matthew, they told us it would turn, and it didn't turn. So we take them all very seriously. We're also taking this opportunity to exercise some of the programs and some of the equipment that we've recently installed. So we're taking the opportunity to make sure that it works like it's supposed to and that we're prepared for whatever comes.
You mentioned that new technology and new things that you guys have put in place. Do you mind telling us about that?
Specifically the tide gates.
Specifically the tide gates. Okay, so recently we did complete the Windsor Woods Tide Gate project. There is a pump station that will be built there during the next phase. There are some temporary pumps that are in place right now, but we are planning to exercise the Windsor Wood Tide Gates as part of this, just to make sure that it all works like it's supposed to. A big part of it is, are we prepared? Do we know how and when we want to close it? How does it respond when the weather's changing? How does, this is just an opportunity for us to go through and make sure that everything works like it's supposed to. Like I said, we're anticipating this is not going to be a major event for the city of Virginia Beach, but we're taking it seriously and we want to make sure that we use it for every opportunity that we can.
So are you saying you would test them during storm conditions?
Yes, we are anticipating that we're going to cycle the Windsor Wood Tide Gates for this event. There is no harm. We're not anticipating a huge rain event out of this, so there's no harm or anticipation of any type of being able to flood or anything like that. More than anything, it's for us, it's a matter of when it closes, how it closes, how long it takes to get them back open. So we are looking at this as an opportunity to test all of it.
Is this the first time those gates have been exercised then?
No, absolutely not. We wouldn't do that in an emergency situation. It's just the first time that we've had an opportunity to do it and test along with the tide cycle.
What is high tide? Sorry.
I don't have that information with me. I'm sorry. I think it's about. I think what we're actually shooting for is low tide. So the way that the tide gates work is when the low tide is here, you want to close the gates. That means that the water on the backside is at its lowest, and then you would open them back up at some point after the storm has passed through.
You talked about wind being the bigger factor. Have public works crews been out with the trees, whatnot, in the past couple of days ahead of this storm?
So public works crews are typically focused on things that are related to stormwater. So we are looking at areas that typically flood where we see debris stack up and that type of thing. Tree maintenance is done in large part by the Department of Parks and Recreation for the City of Virginia Beach, but we do work hand in hand with them.
Next. Thank you, Amber. ACCS.
Just let you do it.
What?
That'd be great. You can clip them on. Okay. This is a lesson learned for next time. I mean, I have front pockets. Yeah, totally. There you go. Put them in your pocket. I can actually adjust them. And then move your hair just a smidge. Yep. Okay, to hold my phone in my hand then? Yep. You can just say for upstop. Yeah. Cool. Other mics. This phone number one more time. Move your hair just a smidge so it doesn't pick up on the mic. Is that good? That was quicker. All right. Hi, good morning. My name is Katie Boone. I'm the Deputy Director for Emergency Communications and Citizen Services. So I help oversee our 311 and 911 centers. Our 911 and 311, we have added additional personnel to help manage the additional call volume that we anticipate with the storm-related calls. We do encourage all of our staff or all of our citizens to call 911 for life-threatening emergencies only. If you do call 911 and you're placed in the queue, please do not hang up. I need you to stay on the line and a call taker will be with you as soon as possible. If you do hang up, it will delay the response. For all other city services, to report flooded streets, to get information about events, or to city debris, anything along those lines, please contact our 311 center by calling 311 directly from a cell phone or a landline. And also, I encourage all residents to sign up for VB Alert by texting VB Alert to 67283.
Are translation or accessibility services available for residents who have that communication or barrier?
Correct. We do have a language line, a group that we utilize, a vendor, to help with translation services.
And during an event like this, how much do you expect calls to maybe tick up?
It really depends. It depends on the types of calls, so I really can't answer that question.
Anybody else? EMS?
Sorry, I tried not this way. I tried not this way.
You can pull these out of your other pocket. Hold on, other ones. How many pockets you have? He's got lots of pockets. All right. Thank you. You got too many phones in here. Here.
Spaghetti.
Here.
Put them both in there.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
Let me do the other one. You got them
I
both?
think I'm going to do them all on this side. It just makes it cleaner.
At least you're not pinning me with something. A little spot of red is the is the blood. All right. Is my hair okay too?
Yep.
Ready? Good morning. My name is Bruce Nedelka. I am an assistant chief with the Virginia Beach Emergency Medical Services Department, and I thank you all for being here for us to get some messages out about preparation for the storm. EMS will be upstaffing as necessary, and that includes our career people as well as our volunteers. We also, with our accredited lifeguard service down in Sandbridge, we still have staff there for the stands. We have staff that is on supervisory ATVs and are monitoring the wind relative to maybe moving the stands back so they don't become a problem in the water. As far as some preparation, what I would suggest is people to be sure to monitor the storm and the approaching storm. Anticipate that there may be some power outages. So if you have a need for medication to be refrigerated, or if you have a home generator for oxygen, be sure that you have preparations for handling that in the event of a power outage. Make sure that your oxygen company has filled additional cylinders for you so that you can get through any kind of a power outage. We on EMS will be preparing all of our ambulances and making sure they're fueled, making sure that they're in good working order, and being sure that our staff is aware of road hazards and they are aware to drive around puddles and not through puddles. We ask that people stay off the streets if there becomes a high wind advisory, and please don't drive through puddles because that will cause a potential problem with you getting stuck in puddles.
What hazards does your department expect to respond to most during this hurricane?
We will respond to whatever we get through 911. Many times people, like I had mentioned, they get anxious because their oxygen cylinders are empty or their power is out. That's why I encourage them to prepare for that right now. We are preparing to be prepared, so I really ask that the residents prepare to be prepared for a storm.
So you did mention that there is that expectation of potential power outages. What advice do you have for residents who are using generators, who are using candles as a backup?
Be sure they're outside. Never have a generator inside the house, obviously. Be sure it is in working order. And just be wary that a generator can put off some noxious gases and fumes, and we don't want to have anybody overcome.
You talked about the lifeguard staff down at Sandbridge.
Yes.
Obviously, you got served for PCSCs this week. I mean, if you don't have to be in the water, don't go in the water, right? I mean,
correct. Red flags will be flying, obviously. They're flying today, and they'll be flying probably tomorrow and the next day. The surf is rough, as you can see. It's great for surfers, but then again, some surfers are saying it's really too rough for them also. Just be careful. Listen to a lifeguard, and if you ask, can I go into the water? Be sure you listen to a lifeguard. They may say ankle deep, or they may say absolutely not. Listen to them. They know the rip currents, they know the problems, they know the issues. Just listen to them. They are the experts.
Good?
You good? Thank you. You good?
Fire's next, and then police, and sheriff.
This one.
Wouldn't it be nice if they had one cord and it like had all the wires? Maybe I'll invent that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good morning. I'm Joshua Goyette, Assistant Chief with the Virginia Beach Fire Department. The fire department's preparing for this storm in numerous ways. We have several assets to help respond into flood areas. As seen in our latest deployment to Texas, we are well-trained, well-equipped, talented, and skilled to respond to these type of situations. So we have that stuff in place here in case there is in flooding. We have other tools such as vehicles that can drive in flooded water. We also have smaller vehicles that we're going to man to respond to things like wires down and tree limbs down and attempt to keep our heavy apparatus off the road just to make things safer. Virginia Beach Fire Department is well prepared, but we want to make sure that our preparedness doesn't diminish the preparedness of the citizens. let me be clear, we don't want to rescue anybody. We want everybody to be safe. So take this opportunity as the first storm of the season to make sure that your home's prepared, your plan is prepared, your supplies are prepared. Do not drive through floodwater. Do not enter the ocean just because the surf is big, and just be safe. If you are in an area of flood risk and you do not feel comfortable if your house floods, please evacuate to higher ground. Any questions? No, we've had them since Matthew. So we got them. They're just high water vehicles that can drive through. They're just taller vehicles. Can put a lot of people in the back to evacuate neighborhoods out of low-lying areas. Yes, we have.
Good. Great. Moving right on.
No questions.
Chief next. Yeah. Good job. You want to get those out of your pocket? Sure. Do this. Let's move over to Chief. It might take me a little bit to untangle these one day. Okay. Put them in your back pocket. Do you have a back pocket, or you can put them on the belt.
All good? All right, good morning, everyone. Paul Newdigate for the police department. First and foremost, we're here to support. We're here to support all of our various public safety elements, support fire, rescue operations, public works if they need help with managing flooded streets and everything else. One of the big questions we get is about staffing. We're prepared. Deputy Chief of Ops is right behind me, taking a hard look at what that is for the police department. We are prepared to move detectives and admin staff into uniform to augment and support those operational endeavors out on the streets. If necessary, we can cancel off days to make sure that we have enough officers out there to help manage any incidents that arise. One of the things of particular note of late and spearheaded by the good Sergeant Ricardo over there is last year we started placing the personal flotation devices, the throw rings in the cars for water rescues. So that is something that is new within the last year that is at our disposal. But with that being said, our plea to the community and to echo what EMS said, please don't drive into flooded streets. Do not put yourself to become a victim. If the water is moving, please don't walk into the water. So make it easy on us. I think the other plea that we have for the community is obviously preservation of life, first and foremost. If you are in an area that may be impacted, please secure valuables, firearms, in case you would need to leave your residence, because we may not be able to get there in time to protect property while we're dealing with life preservation. So those are our two big pleas to the community. Please don't enter the water, especially if the roadways are flooded. Secure your valuables, and we will do everything that we can to protect and serve the city of Virginia Beach. Questions?
We've seen some evacuations happening in North Carolina already, and even though what's happening there isn't going to be quite what it's hitting here, do you guys have those plans in place in case there were to be evacuations here at the beach?
Absolutely. We're prepared, and a lot of that will be managing the exodus of vehicles and personnel to lower or higher level to take them out of the potential flooding zone. So yes, we're ready. Behind us is the captain of special ops, oversees the traffic unit. They're well versed in managing large egresses of traffic, so we're good to go.
That was going to be my next question. Communication is a huge thing. We've got all of the agencies behind you right now, and it's important that you guys all talk together in a circumstance like this. So what have those conversations been like as you guys have been going to the drawing board to see how you can best prepare going forward?
I think, I don't want to say it's a rehash, but we have good plans in place. And this is not our first experience with a threat of a potential tropical storm or hurricane. So it's looking at what we have in place, what tweaks we need to make it, and those lines of communication every morning at 8:30. Collectively, we're all on a joint call to talk about what that looks like. manage resources, and make sure that we are 100% prepared to protect the city should this occur. So, all right. Thanks.
Grab all these. You want to take them out of your back pocket. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
All good?
2? You got 2 more, I think. 1 more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, back pockets or front pockets. You want to put these in your front pocket?
Well,
You
I'm just frisking people.
And put these in the other pocket.
Good morning, I'm Captain Lancio with the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office. In the event a shelter is open within the city of Virginia Beach, the Sheriff's Office mans those shelters for security. Things that you can bring with you: food and water for 3 days, bring any medications that you need, things not to bring, any illegal drugs obviously, no weapons will be allowed, and no alcohol will be allowed. So be prepared to stay for 3 days. If the event happens where there's an interruption to the jail, what we'll do is push everything out through social media, put anything out for vbso.gov. That's where you can find the information there. Things like visitation might be canceled, things like weekend operations might be canceled. And also after the storm, the Sheriff's Office normally will go out and help out with our workforce to make sure that everything gets cleaned up and augment the city. Who's in charge of the fire department? What's that? Do you want me to repeat that last part, or is that going to get cut out?
I was just wondering, how do you find where your shelter would be at if we were in that situation? How would I find that?
The city will put that out on the website. The EOC will decide, depending on where the storm hits, which shelters to open up first. We have pet-friendly shelters. That'll be listed there if you have pets that you need to bring with you. If you need medical attention, certain medical attention, we'll have medical-friendly shelters that will be set up with hospital staff to provide that. So pay attention to where the shelters are and what they will and will not allow, and you'll be perfectly fine.
Thank you guys. All right.